What is up, Insaners, and welcome to another FPL video this week. The season is about to end, and I'm sure you're looking to get the best possible rank and win your mini leagues if you're watching this video right now. Let me tell you guys that you've absolutely come to the right place. Now today we're gonna cover the best free hit and wildcard drafts, along with some alternate draft options for Game Week 36. These will help you get the maximum out of your available chips. We'll also look at the best captain picks for this week, along with our team selection. Lots of exciting stuff coming up in this one, guys, so make sure you watch it till the end. We did another video a couple of days back on some of the best players to target for Game Week 36, along with a detailed fixture review and some chip strategy options. You'll find a link to that at the end of this video, plus it's also there in the video description, so make sure you check that out as well. Guys, please do consider liking this video if you like our free hit and wildcard drafts and our content in general. You can also support us by subscribing to our channel. We're pushing towards that 500 subscribers, guys, and I'd really be grateful if you can help us get there. Another small announcement, we have got a lot of requests in terms of the Euro 2020 fantasy game, so we'll be putting out a post on Instagram very soon explaining what the game is and how you can play. Plus, we are planning to create regular content around the same, so do watch out for our Euro 2020 playlist on YouTube. The first video should be out in a few days' time, so guys, make sure you check that out. Great, so let's get into today's video by talking about why do you need to play your free hit or wildcard chip this week. Now, a lot of people have asked me this question: should they use their free hit chip in Game Week 36? Absolutely yes, guys. I'm sure a lot of people have already used it in Game Week 35 and it turned out to be excellent. As last week, it is pretty simple. If you had a lot of double Game Week players, especially from teams like Chelsea, Leicester, Man United and Arsenal in Game Week 35, then you won't have a lot of players playing in Game Week 36. Now in this scenario, it makes sense to play your free hit chip this week. It'll give you an edge over your rivals. I mean, a lot of managers, including myself, will struggle to field a team of 11 players in 36, and with the free hit, not only will it help you avoid taking hits, you would also be in a position to attack this game week. So let's say if you only have 5 to 6 players who are playing this week, then there's no point in taking so many hits, and playing your free hit chip instead makes more sense. Now guys, wildcard works in the same way. In case if you have a lot of blank game week players in your team for this week, then you have an option of playing your wildcard as well. It's a little more tricky to play the wildcard, as you will also have to keep in mind the fixtures in game week 37 and 38 and not just 36, as you would do if you only had your free hit chip. This is especially the case if you want to get Man United or even West Ham players in your team. Overall, if you have both, then free hit is a better chip to play this week. You can also play your free hit in Game Week 36, guys, and avoid teams like Man United or even West Ham, who have a slightly trickier fixture in Brighton this week. Then in Game Week 37, you can activate your wildcard and solely focus on Game Week 37 and 38. With that, let's get into the free hit structure and draft for this week. Okay, so for those of you who are using a free hit chip this week, it's important to have a structure and some key pointers in mind. These should form the basis of your free hit team and give you a good all-around squad for Game Week 36. The starting point of your draft should be to make a note of your overall team value and money remaining in your bank. Now guys, these are two critical pointers that will help you get the best players you need. Every FPL manager might have a different team value, so not everyone might be able to afford the same players and picks, so do keep that in mind. Now a lot of managers won't be playing any chips as they don't have any, but still their teams will have some popular players. If you are on your free hit, then you need to take a call where to go for those popular players or do things a bit differently by moving away from the set FPL template. Guys, I feel if you're using your chip, it's worth taking a risk and you should go a bit differential this week. Another really important thing to keep in mind is how many premiums you want to play in Game Week 36 along with the combination of your differentials. You could easily get a mix of both, and selecting these players carefully would go a long way in getting you a good score in Game Week 36. One last thing to note here is what formation do you want to play with? Now there are a variety of options available. You could play with 2 strikers up front with a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-2. You could also play with all 3 strikers in a 3-4-3 or a 4-3-3 formation. Now let's talk about our first draft. This draft has a good mix of some popular players and some great differentials. We have a total team value of around 104.6 million, and that remains a constant for all drafts. Now in terms of our team, guys, we have Edison as our main keeper. Now clean sheet possibility looks pretty strong against a Wilson-less Newcastle side. He's definitely the only player that I can say with confidence who's nailed in the Man City team, so we have gone for him in this draft. We also have Foster as a second keeper, the cheapest playing keeper who will surely be on our bench for game week 36, so it doesn't really matter here. Next we come to our defense. Now in our base draft, we've gone for 3 playing defenders this week. These are Stuart Dallas, Luca Digne and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Dallas has a decent fixture against Burnley and we've seen that Burnley can concede goals. Plus, Leeds are a great attacking team and with Phillips and Rafinha back guys, I think Dallas looks like a really good option this week. The other defenders, Luca Digne and Trent, are kind of obvious picks here, both attacking fullbacks having clean sheet potential along with getting some attacking returns against relegated teams West Brom and Sheffield United. Now coming to the other two defenders, and they're more like bench fodder. These are Mitchell and Kilman. They won't be expected to play this week. Hopefully at least one of them starts so that we can cover our main defenders in case if they don't make an appearance this week. It looks like an unlikely sort of a situation, but I think we should be well prepared for that. Coming to our midfield, we have two premiums, Mo Salah from Liverpool and Son from Tottenham. Salah is a great pick this week. West Brom has one of the worst defenses in the league and they don't really have anything left to play for. Plus Salah is still in the race with Kane in terms of the golden boot and this makes him a really good captaincy option this week guys. Salah's numbers from game week 30 to 35 also look quite good. He's top for goal attempts, big chances and expected goals. Now these are good signs for game week 36. The fixture also calls for a second Liverpool attacker and to get that overall balance in this draft, we've gone for Jota. I know he hasn't set the world on fire in the last few games, but his attacking numbers guys, they've looked pretty decent. Liverpool desperately needs those 3 points and would want everyone in their attack to fire. Now let's talk about Son. He's also looking good for this week. He scored 4 goals in his last 6 game weeks, plus he should start against Wolves and play the majority of the game, so a pretty good option to go for this week. Guys, the other picks include Riyad Mahrez, who has been excellent for Man City this season. His starts though have become more of an issue in the league with only 2 in his last 6 games. This was majorly because of the EFL, FA Cup and the Champions League. With the league already done guys, he might get a bit more regular starts as City build towards that huge Champions League final. Now he's a huge risk in terms of playing time, but definitely someone to look out for this week. Our final pick is Rafinha guys. The Leeds midfielder made a comeback against Spurs, providing an assist and he looked in good nick. Leeds definitely has missed his creativity in attack. Now his numbers before getting injured were decent with 2 attacking returns and 3 starts. Also with only 5% ownership, he looks like a great differential pick this week. Now coming to the attack, and it's pretty straightforward here. Kane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin look like the must-haves if you are on a free hit this week. Both have okayish form, but the fixtures for both are looking really good. I mean DCL against Sheffield United defense, that's just screaming a huge points haul this week. He's also a good differential captaincy shout this week. Now we've gone ahead with Ollie Watkins in this draft. Crystal Palace is also a decent fixture guys, and the Villa forward would be raring to go after missing out that Everton game because of his red card. Now there's also an alternate approach to the base draft that we can try. Rather than having Jota in midfield, we can go a bit differential and go for Mane, who's way less owned than Jota. Now this move will mean that we will have to free up some cash to make the upgrade. We're not changing much in defense as it looks pretty tight, so we have gone for 2 up front with Davis from Villa being our third striker. This will also mean that we have to downgrade Mahrez to Foden, and to be fair guys, the risk factor is still the same with him in the squad. I personally like the upside with Mane guys, and playing a clear 3-5-2 without having the headache of benching one of Rafinha, Jota or Mahrez for this week looks pretty good. Now let's talk about a wildcard draft for game week 36. It's a tricky one to be honest. You'll have to keep a few things in mind. Guys, the structure of the wildcard squad would not be like the free hit squad, and that will stay with you till the end of the season, so decide how many premiums you want to go for. Do you want 3 to 4 premiums, which has been the template this season, or do you want to go for high value picks instead? Guys, another decision that needs to be made is whether you want to invest in your bench. Do you want to have fillers and invest that money in your 11, or make a more balanced squad, sharing that money over the entire team? One final call guys that you have to take this week is whether to prioritize players that are playing this week along with 37 and 38, or get a few players that have a good fixture in 37 and 38 but blank this week, or even a combination of both. I would prefer having a solid 11 this week and still have a couple of players for 37 and 38 that you can bench this week. Now guys, we've made this squad keeping game week 36 as the base and a couple of players that we would want for the coming game weeks. Coming to the team, there's a slight change in goal with Guaita coming in place of Edison as we want to upgrade Kilman to Shaw. Now United have a couple of decent fixtures in the mix, so having Luke Shaw gives us an additional option going in 37 and 38. Rest of our defense is pretty similar to our free hit draft and looks like the best to have this week. Guys, the midfield is also exactly the same as our free hit draft. Now one change that we can do here is probably play a 3-4-3 and get Greenwood, who has been in better form than Jota. That makes our team selection pretty simple for this week, guys, and also sets up well for game week 37 and 38. In attack, 2 of our 3 picks this week are pretty standard, as I mentioned earlier. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Harry Kane seem like a set and forget combo this week, along with the coming weeks. Now the third spot is where things get a bit interesting, guys, and you have the likes of Watkins, Antonio and Bamford fighting for it. We've gone for Bamford in this draft. He's a good pick for the next 3 weeks, and with Rafinha returning in the playing 11, guys, Bamford surely can end the season on a high and give you some good points. Now if you want to go a bit more risky and differential, you can get in Mane instead of Jota like we did for the free hit. This would also mean going a little light on the Spurs assets and getting rid of Son. Now Rafinha retains his place and Lingard and Foden come in as 2 really high value picks. Lingard covers the West Ham attack if you want to play him this week or even for 37 and 38 where he faces West Brom and Southampton. 2 really good games from an attacking sense, I would say. Attack is the same in this one, guys, but you can also go for the likes of Antonio if you want to double up on the West Ham attack. Their match is against Brighton, so it's gonna be a bit tricky, but yeah, he can also be a transfer in game week 37 when West Ham face West Brom. With the free hit and wildcard draft done, let's look at how our team has been doing in game week 35 and our team selection for game week 36. So not too many changes here since our last update a couple of days back. We have 98 points right now. Our rank is around 14,000 in the world and hopefully we are able to maintain that by the end of this week. Happy with the Greenwood appearance against Leicester and that goal. Now Bruno only got a point in the Leicester game, so happy in terms of FPL, but not so much being a United fan as we lost to Leicester. Guys, Rudiger and Mendy, they both didn't play against Arsenal. I was kind of expecting that, and Holding getting that clean sheet hurt us by a couple of points. Still not a huge rank drop as Holding's ownership was quite less, so we'll take that. Now we still have 5 players who are yet to play the second game and 2 United players that have to play Liverpool. I think Shaw should definitely start that one after being rested against Leicester. Greenwood, I would say, is a 50-50. Now Ole might start Cavani with Pogba on the right, and that would mean a benching for Greenwood. Quite high chance of that happening, so let's see. Bruno on the other hand is definitely going to start this one, guys, and I'm a bit scared of the points loss that we might have. So let's see, fingers crossed for now, and let's hope for the best. Now let's talk about a current team for game week 36. We'll start from the back. We have Foster in goal, and guys, there are higher chances that he might not start this one. We don't have an option here because of our second keeper, Chelsea's Mendy. He has a blank this week, and I'm not sure it's worth a transfer, especially if I have to take a hit for the same. Though Mendy's game in 37 and 38, they're not easy, but there's still a clean sheet potential there. Will he start both games, especially game week 38? I think he should, because game week 38 and the Champions League final, they have 1 week gap, and goalkeepers generally, they don't need that long of a rest. Let's see what we do, but for now let's move ahead. In terms of our defense, guys, Trent and Luca Digne are great picks this week. Now Holding, Shaw and Rudiger, all 3 are not playing this week and we definitely need 1 transfer there. Mostly it will be Dallas in for Rudiger. Now I can't fund this move with Holding and I want to play Shaw in 37 and especially 38 when Digne has Man City. The midfield right now is a 4 with a Liverpool double up with Salah and Jota. The other picks here are Lingard against Brighton, which is not ideal as Seagulls have a decent defense, and Son against Wolves. Now Mason Greenwood doesn't have a game in game week 36, but we want to keep him for 37 and 38, so he stays on the bench for this one. Guys, attack is another area where we are a player short. Now we have Kane and DCL playing this week, but we need a third striker if we need to make a 3-4-3 work. Right now we have Iheanacho and he's definitely going out this week. Whether it's for Bamford or Antonio, that's the call we need to make. So these are the exact transfer thoughts that I have in mind. Rudiger makes way for Dallas. I think it's a good move. Dallas is out of position and he plays in all 3 remaining games for Leeds. Now Rudiger might just get rested or rotated for 1 or even 2 of these 3 games. Plus if we keep Mendy, we kind of covered in terms of the Chelsea defense in case we get worried about that clean sheet. The other move, as I mentioned here, is getting rid of Iheanacho and getting either Bamford or Antonio. Now guys, the problem with these 2 moves is that I'm 0.4 million short in terms of cash and I would either have to downgrade Holding to a Mitchell or probably Mendy to a 4.8 playing goalkeeper. I like the second option more, to be honest, and I might just go for Pickford. Game week 38 is a problem, guys, as he faces a Man City team who will lift the Premier League trophy in front of their fans at the Etihad, but Sheffield and Wolves are a couple of decent games that I can bet on. We'll see what to do, but I'm leaning towards the Dallas, Bamford and Pickford combination this week. Great, those were our transfer thoughts for game week 36. Now let's talk about some great captaincy options this week. There are in fact quite a lot of options this week. No surprises with the big hitters Mo Salah and Harry Kane as the top favorite options for Game Week 36. I think Salah is going to be a little more popular as Kane versus Wolves might be a bit trickier than Salah facing West Brom. Though both defenses are equally bad guys, Salah looks like the better pick here. Now DCL is another option if you want to go against the crowd and dive into the differential category. Sheffield United looks like a comfortable fixture and he could get a huge haul against the Blades. Now guys, if you want to go a bit heavy in terms of differentials, a couple of alternate Liverpool options are Mane, who will be one of the best differential picks this week. Now captaining him is a bit risky, but will surely put you in the uber differential category. A brilliant move if you are doing catch up in your mini leagues. Now Jota is another pick guys, but I would prefer Mane over Jota. You can also look at the likes of Son if you don't own Jota and Mane. Now he's another player who will be highly owned this week, but not many people are going to captain him, so you have a chance to leapfrog others by giving him the armband. Now guys, to our most interesting 1 week captaincy punts, I think when you're talking about huge risk and huge rewards, Man City will surely come to your mind. Mahrez might get to play against Newcastle and could be a massive differential captain if you're okay taking that kind of a risk. Guys, the other two options are Gareth Bale from Tottenham and Patrick Bamford from Leeds. Again, I don't know if Bale is going to start this one, but he surely should feature against Wolves in some capacity. Bamford could also be a good outside shout, especially with Rafinha returning. That's definitely going to give him a lot of confidence, and you might as well take your chances with that. So that'll be all for this video guys. I hope this guide will be helpful in planning your free hit and wildcard drafts for Game Week 36. Whatever chips you're playing guys, make sure you have a structure in mind, and I would advise you to do some fun tinkering before you lock in your teams for this week. Please give this video a like guys if you found it useful. If you're new around here, you can also subscribe for all the good FPL stuff. Now we'll be back tomorrow just an hour before the deadline with our Game Week 36 deadline stream. It'll be great if you can join us. All the best for this game week guys. Hopefully a super exciting week of football. Have a good one and I'll see you in Sainers next time.